welcome. I'm Laura Rogers, and we have Joelle Jobson here as well on the call. This is SharePoint Power Hour. This is our live show we do on Wednesdays at 11. We just demo things in SharePoint and Office 365 and things that you can do out of the box with SharePoint. Randomly demo different things each week, and sometimes they're corresponding to a blog post, and sometimes they're just things we make up as we go. But let's see, this topic this week is going to be, drum roll, this is huge. So this is something they announced at Ignite a couple weeks ago, and it's something that people have been screaming for ever since SharePoint Design View got yanked away in SharePoint 2013. And so it's been, 4 or 5 years. We have conditional formatting in our lists and libraries now. What do y'all think? Are y'all excited about this? When I tweeted about this, I know during the conference, and I tweeted out a screenshot of what they were showing with this conditional formatting. The tweet got like 14,000 impressions or something, and it just insanely got retweeted, and people responded to me going, no, that can't be right, or that must be custom code, or that must be a third-party tool, and what is that, and how did you do that? And it's quote out of the box. Say out of the box. So this is something that is not in production yet, but we're going to demo and figure out as we go today. And it's coming soon. So it's coming like this month, I believe. But they did announce, it's one of those things that I think I mentioned when I did the Ignite recap a couple of weeks ago. One of the things that they announced that is coming, I think they said officially sometime in October. You know how those things roll out. They take a while, they roll out to all the first release, and then they, so whatever release your tenant is on, who knows when exactly you're going to get it. Everybody's not going to get it at the exact same time. So, all right, with no further ado, I'll go ahead and paste the link here, because you guys can help me figure this out, because it is, no, I'm just kidding. It's not too bad. Now this is, I'll put the link in the general channel, and we're having our chat in the Power Hour channel and our Slack channel, iwmentor.slack.com. And so this is, I'm not a dev. Okay, I am not a programmer. I think most of you know that. I sort of can delve into things that I try and tweak with code, but I don't write code. I don't write any programming languages. So this is sort of bordering on dev-y because it's got a little bit of syntax and formulas, sort of that kind of thing. But Microsoft, at least for now, in this blog post I showed you, and you guys let me know what you think about that, they're giving a ton of examples in that post. And I think that people are going to go nuts with just blogging and teaching different examples, and we're all just going to figure it out, and it'll be good. So I think it's huge, and I think it's definitely better than nothing, and definitely better than what we're having to do with SharePoint Designer. So here we go. I'll go ahead and share my screen. All right, this is my little test site. And so the first one that I'm going to show you is I've got a couple of things going on in this list. Can I get like a golf clap or something like that, everybody?
Woohoo!
And Joelle and I have been figuring this out together. So Joelle is in this test site of mine as well. And we've both been just under 24 hours, been putting some things in here and trying a few things and getting like a few good examples to show you guys in here. So they're being awfully quiet. I mean, I don't think they're interested. I don't think they want to see it. They're not really saying anything. So
Well, somebody over on YouTube said they need to check their underpants, so I think they're pretty excited.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. All right. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to show this customer status thing first. The way you get to this, and again, you're not going to have this yet. It's not in production yet. Is you go to list settings and customer status. So see, custom formatter. So this is a new setting in a column's settings page. So I just went to list settings, went to the column, just clicked on the name of the column like you always do, and custom formatter. So this is where I did the formatting. So basically this one says, if it equals inactive, show it with this, basically it's this SP field severity warning, but basically it makes it orange. So that's a very, very simple example, just for this one field of how that one was done. So I'll show you now. They have this whole Office UI fabric thing that I don't believe is functioning yet, which is fine. But I'll show you this particular example. This one. So this is the the conditional formatting example with these colors and icons. So supposedly there are going to be these icons sort of that you can refer to, sort of built in with these like SP field severity warning things. So that's where, in this case right now, they're not showing icons, they're showing colors, but that's fine. So I've got, basically, you've got a reference to the current field. And I'm showing the code on this page because it's kind of hard in that little tiny little text box on the SharePoint, in the SharePoint settings. But you've got the current field, and you're saying that if it, in this case, it says if it was less than 70, then show a warning. Well, I don't want to do less than 70, so I'll show you mine. Let's see. I'll show you how I tweaked it a little bit. I think this is considered JSON. Let me see. In my Notepad++, let's see. Is that kind of, okay. So what I did is this equal sign. So if it equals inactive, then I show this warning color or icon. So let's go see what a couple of those other little icons are going to be. So I've got inactive. I'm going to do, instead of it showing this field severity warning, I'm going to show this field severity blocked, and that will be the red one. So now if it's inactive, it's going to be red. So as you can see, this is a pretty simple example of just if it is a certain thing, then show it a certain color. But as you can see, it's code. It's a syntax that you have to dig into and kind of, oh, you can't see my screen? What the? Oh, okay. Let me see. Let me change my resolution. Sorry. Thanks, Tony, for letting me know. Okay. Sorry about that. Hopefully on that screen I just shared on with the code, it at least showed that much. Okay. Okay, there we go. So I'll go back to list settings, and I'm in my customer status field, and it's this custom formatter. All right, that helped? Thank you. Yeah, so it's better than JSLink, I think. I think it's less complicated than JSLink. Response to Daniel there. But yeah, it's code. But okay, so we have this reference to a current field here that you're going to see in a lot of these, and you're going to have this question mark that's the condition. That's the if concept. So if it basically equals inactive, then show it as this. So I would not be able to write this from scratch. So again, let me click OK, and we'll look at my list again. I would not be able to write this from scratch, but as you can see, we can at least for now have something to start with and be able to start figuring out how to tweak it and start understanding the syntax, right? So here's this other one that Joelle did, the number of tickets logged. So we've got this nice little bar graph that is really cool. So it's just a number field, right, Joelle?
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got a maximum of 20 that's typed into the code, right?
Yep.
Okay. So let's go look at this code, and I'll show you. This code's pretty much the same as their example, right? Let's see. I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's their example. Oops, where'd it go? It scrolled randomly. There we go. Format a number column as a data bar. This is advanced because I've been able to figure out some of it, but this formula is pretty complicated. Jonah says you can show the formatting only and hide the text and numbers. Probably. I put the link in the general channel, Dion. Flip over to the general channel in Slack, and you can click on that link. And it's also on my blog, wonderlaura.com. Go to resources and click Power Hour schedule, and there's a hyperlink next to this particular Power Hour with the hyperlink to this thing that we're talking about, also this page that we're on. Okay. So yeah, you could probably, that's a great question. Could you hide the text and numbers? You could probably do that. You could either maybe hide the number or make the number be the same color as the background so that it just doesn't show. Or you could just do this in a completely different field maybe. So yeah, you could just create a whole new just blank text field and only put the formula in there and not have any value, and you could still make it reference these other fields. So you've got this, what it's doing is saying, I'm not even going to try to translate this complicated one, but it's basically using 20 as a basis, and it's using 20 as a basis and using that as whatever your number of tickets logged is as a percentage out of 20. So that's how it's showing this bar as a certain width. So that's pretty powerful. So, and some of this is going to be like understanding some CSS type of things like divs and styles, right, Joelle?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's the div attributes, like for this one, this whole div that the word is in is what I formatted. I didn't format the text. So let's go to a different example where I formatted the text. Okay, so here's one where what I did with the text formatting of the project name is it is looking to see if the project end is either doesn't exist or is in the past, and it's showing them as red. So like this project doesn't, this Contoso prepaid support project doesn't end yet, so it's not red. But a lot of these are red because they're in the past or empty. So, and then these are not. So that's pretty cool. So let's go look at how I, that's a great, Valerie says, Microsoft has a weird concept of what is no code. So this is how to format the text. So we'll go into list settings. And so I'm not formatting. So I'm formatting the project name field. That's the actual field that I'm doing the formatting on. But the data that I'm looking at isn't in the project name field. It's looking at other data. So let's go look at, let me copy all that and see how I did that. Let me go replace that. So it's easier to just look at it in here. So the text, the content that we're on, the field that we're on is the current field, but what it's looking at is the condition, that's the question mark. Technically JSON is no code, right? I can kind of figure it out. So I think all the people, a lot of you are at that level where you're able to kind of understand logic, right, Joelle, and kind of just poke around in it. Yeah. So this, do you guys see this? Because I want to point this out right now, because this is something that's on my screen. I'm gonna do my little whiteboard. I'm gonna let's see, color red. Now, so this is comparing a date in the list to now. Those of you who have been using SharePoint for many years, like me and Joelle, probably have a greater appreciation for what this is, but this is huge, right? This is comparing a date field to now. It's not comparing it. You're not having to compare it to another date field. This is something that in view filtering we've kind of been able to do. You compare like the date in a list item to today and like filter it out of a view. But this is something that people have been struggling with and wanting to do in SharePoint for years. This is huge, this now thing. So I'll clear out my whiteboard. But so this is saying if it is less than or equal to, if the operator is less than or equal to, comparing the project end field to now. So this is, oh, that's what I got wrong, Joelle. It's supposed to be a $sign. So project end is another field in the list. So it's got this current field thing, this at current field you'll see in a lot of places, but this project end is where you get the name of the actual other field that you're pointing to. So how did I get project end like this weird looking thing? Is I went in here and we go just in my settings, and when I go hover over project end, you can, I don't know if you can see in the bottom of the screen, but the hyperlink says field equals project underscore X002 underscore end. And that's what happens when you create a field with a space in it. But that's what project end is. That's how you know what syntax to use when you're typing the name of that field in things that need code in SharePoint. Let's see. Daniel says, what about the time part of now? So yeah, that's the column's SharePoint like system name. So this is comparing the project end. I don't have a time in the project end. It's just a date, but it's still comparing it to now, like right now. So in SharePoint, technically, when you have a date time field, it is still storing the date and time, even though it's not displaying it. So like I can change this to date and time like this. So now I changed project end to date and time. So now it's displaying it as date and time, and it's just showing them all as midnight. So, I mean, we can go change one of them to have a specific time in it, but the at now is right now, like this minute comparing it. So that's not the same as like just today, right? So the now is good. Let's see. Yeah, Dion just kind of verified what I just said, where you look at, where you go to click on the column name and you can see the name of it at the end of the URL. Yep. Okay, so that's how you can get those system names. So as far as this color, how did I do the color? This is this color. Now I wonder if I put like just the name of a color. If I just put blue in there, if that'll work. So I can't type it in here. That's not going to do any good. So project name. Instead of having to do these like CSS, I don't know what that syntax is called. I'm not a dev. I don't know what that's even called. Let's see if I can do just blue. Because in Power Apps, you can do the RGB code, or you can just type the name of just the name of a color and it'll work. Oh, look at that. It works. We're learning new things every day. So you can just type the name of a color. Pretty cool. Joelle, what else kind of stood out in there for you in that, in the things that we were kind of poking around in?
So I know we were trying to figure out like the icon thing, but I think that could be really cool, like the one where the email where it has like you can add the little icon next to it, where you click the icon and then you can like generate an email. It's kind of like the quick actions kind of thing, but just right on the column instead of having to go to SharePoint Designer, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, huge. Yeah, so Fausto made a good point. Can you just click edit the custom formatting directly from the column without going to the list settings?
That's a good question. I didn't even get a chance to try to do that. I don't think you can.
Column settings, yeah. So instead of, like, I tried right clicking on it, that doesn't work. So, but it's column settings, format
Oh,
this
okay.
column. Yep, there it is. Thank you,
Cool.
Fausto. You're a genius. That's a lot faster. You get a lot better, like, concept of what you're doing more immediately, right? So I can go change this to purple and then preview it. Oh, yeah, huge. Thank you. See, we're all just figuring this out as a team, right? Yeah. Hey, Dan. Yep, we mentioned Power Apps. We did a whole bunch on Power Apps last week, but I kind of switched gears this time because this just came out and it was so exciting to me. Okay, so if it's basically less than or equal to now, then it's showing as purple. So let's look at some other different examples. I'll go ahead and just save that and close that. And let's see, what else did we do on the projects list? We did the hours used thing. I don't know if I even want to delve into that. But this project status is got several different statuses. And you can see that I've got it showing them. Quote sent doesn't show as a color, but the active and complete show as colors. So we can go tweak those. Like if I go quick edit one of these, and this is just a text field, but I can change one of them to test company project to active. And then done. And then now when I go look at, I hate the way these just columns get so wide in here, right? There we go. And I don't know where, oh, it went to the top. And it is showing as active, and it's showing as that certain color. So let's go look at that code. I'm going to take that whole thing and just put it in Notepad++. That is a long one. Okay, so if it equals complete, then it's doing this thing. How about I just change it to, if I just write blue here, what is that going to do? So first of all, look at this Elm type that says div. That's not the same thing as formatting the text, right? So let's go look at what the difference in that was. Let's go see. I'm going to go back over to this other one. So to format the text, so the div is that whole background part, right? So let me cancel out of this one and go here. And Elm type is div. Oh, why is it style color? Okay. Let me go grab that too. So we gotta understand fundamentally, how do you know the difference between if the background of something is going to get formatted versus the text, right? Joelle, help me out here. You're a dev, right? No, wait a minute. Neither of us are. Okay, so this one is the text. This one is style. So div, style, color, and doesn't necessarily say that it's just the text, and that's div class. Okay, so it's a class. Yeah. So yeah, you're right, Dion. The style is like seeing style in HTML, but this other one with these SP field severity special things, that's class. That's like a special Microsoft built-in class.
Yeah, and
what was that?
I was just going to say at the bottom of the article, it kind of details those a little bit too, which is for the devs. Those classes.
Okay, yeah. Oh, so there's the field name and me and now, by the way. And it's even got, like, I love all the examples they have in here, by the way, because it's even got specifics like how to deal with lookup fields, like lookup ID versus lookup value, all the operators like equals, less than, all that stuff. And then, yeah, so a lot of this is kind of dev terminology, but at least it's a good reference for like you were saying, like this class. So Let me go back. I'm going backwards through here. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of just kind of a CSS reference, right? Of what all the styles could be. Okay, so back to here. So this one is, right now, it's showing that class of SP field severity good if it's complete. So if current field equals complete, then it's showing as this class. So let's say attributes are going to be, instead of class, do like the other one where it's got style color. See, type div style and color. Okay, so instead of attributes, class, style, color. I'm just gonna do this, and I'm sure it's not gonna work, but let's see. Because we got to know how to, for us non-devs, we got to know how to be able to just tweak this stuff, right? So if it's complete, I want it to be green. So this is kind of like Dion mentioned, it's like style in HTML. So style is how you define just the way you want things to look in your table, in your table cell, your paragraph, your divs, your text, URLs and things like that. So the style is, we're defining the color of this thing basically. So let's see if I can, so style color is green. Otherwise, if it is quote sent, then the color is going to be like blue. Otherwise, if the current field says active, then the color is going to be like purple. This should work, right?
Yep.
Otherwise equals blocked. I don't think I have blocked as one, whatever. And then this is the else. So all those were the ifs, and this is the else. And I'm going to put just black for the otherwise. So blocked is a word that I don't have in mind, but I can add it. Let's see. What other color? Green, blue, purple, pink. There. And then it's got this whole children thing. Inline block, padding, attributes. So it's even doing some, so this is where it's doing some of the things where it's going to go find that specific check mark using those Microsoft, those classes that are built in, and show like a check mark or a warning or an error badge. And that stuff's not functioning yet. Okay, so let's go back to, this was my project status field. And preview. Oh my gosh, it worked. I totally knew it was going to work. Okay, so did y'all understand what I did? You want me to show you that again? Okay, so that is awesome. So blocked, let's try blocked. That was one of them. I'll go edit this item and put blocked as the status. That's one of the like 5 different ways to edit items, right? I wish there was a way to do the column widths and then save it that way and make it stick. Okay, look, there's the pink. So I set it to pink, so you can't really see it that well, but it was pink if it was blocked. Cool. All right, and then the else was black. So let's change one of these to, instead of quote sent, this is just going to be like nothing. Nothing. It's not going to have any of the conditions that I put in here. And it's black. Cool. That was my else statement. So if I'm a dev now, oh no, that's what Fausto says, I'm officially a dev. I think the cool thing is that I'm not a dev, so I can explain things like in just normal terminology that's not dev terminology, because I don't know what the dev terminology is. But I can understand concepts like logic and conditions, like where they've told us that this question mark, that is the if. So if, and you got to say what the equals, what the operator is first. So instead of like 2 plus 2 equals 4. It's plus 2, 2, and then you get a result. You know what I mean? So you just say what the operator is first up here. And then, so it equals complete. Yeah. All right. So let's look at what other examples that we have in here. Do we have one in the, did I do one in here? I started to do the thing with the fancy little icon for the email thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't do that. Departments, let me see. I'm going to go look at a couple of their other examples. And I'm sorry, guys, that I'm kind of winging it in this one. I kind of knew that I would be because this stuff is just so brand new. So let's go back over to our timesheets. And maybe if somebody worked over 8 hours in a day, then we can have it like, that's like a red flag, right? I wonder if there's a way to do the entire, I guess you could do the whole row by formatting each individual column with the same setting. Let's try that. So if somebody worked over 8 hours in like one timesheet entry, we'll make the whole row red. So we'll start with the first row and we'll go to format this column. And then that's going to be the, I guess, the background, right? Okay, so now that I know so much about this stuff now, let me see what I can figure out. Okay, so this is going to be the div attributes class is, last time we changed it when we wanted to do the text, we did, what did we do? Style color. And if we want to do the background, maybe it'd be style background. Let me just change it to style background on the other one before I try that. How about that? That's a good way of troubleshooting. So for this one over here, that we have the text being a certain color, let's just change the word to background and see if that does that. No, it's not background. Just put color. I still don't know, Joelle, how it knows, because usually when you're doing CSS and you're doing a color, like it's text color or background color, or you know what I mean? You're saying exactly what the thing is.
Yeah.
So maybe if I do like, instead of div, it's like TD.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would, no. I like that immediate response there of it just errors out.
Yeah.
It would be nice if everyone else in the chat window could like try it. Oh, Dion says, what does it say for hours used? Dion, the hours used thing, I'll go ahead and show you what we were trying to do with that one. So what we were doing is this, where is it? It's the one, and you'll see it's pretty obvious in here. Where did it go? It's the one with the little bars going across. And it's similar to the one that Joelle did that had the bars based on just out of 20. So what I was trying to do, here it is this, and I wanted the hours used. So the project has a certain number of hours that like the customer has purchased that you can spend in the project. And then you have the hours that you've used so far. So I wanted the bar to be like 100% would be the hours used in the whole project, or the hours that exist potentially in the whole project. And then, oh yeah. Oh, background color. Well, let's see. We'll go look. Let's see. SP field data bars. So that is a class. So yeah, we could use that. SP field data bars, style width. Huh. Style width. Where does it say the color though? Let's see. That one was complicated. Like, it's very short. It's not very long, but it was pretty complicated to try and figure out if you wanted to compare it to another field. Yeah, see, it doesn't say, like, it just says style width, but it doesn't say the color anywhere because the color is part of the class. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can you, Joelle, can you just skim through that? Well, I'm going to go back over to what I was doing, but skim through here and see if you can see, like, how you'd actually set a background color that's not, like, one of their built-in classes. Because that'd be good to know. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go back over to... so the timesheet, the idea is that that number field is going to be, we're going to make it so that it's a certain color if they go over 8. Yeah, Ryan says the class on the row looks to be MS list cell. Wow, that's pretty good. I don't know what that means to me though. All right, so div color, okay, that's the one I was looking at. And then I'm going over to, I'm going to go grab this code here. Let's see. Everything we do in here is copying code, right?
Mm-hmm. I do see something for the background color in the article.
Okay. Here we go. Let's see. Style, color, whatever. Okay, I'm going to use this example right here. Format this column. Okay, so the number is going to be 8 because over 8 hours are overtime, right? So this is going to be a red, and it's just going to be style color equals, or no, so if it's greater than or equal to 8, right? Greater than or equal to, and then we're comparing the current field to, we're comparing the current field to 8. So in this case, we're going to do, we're not doing this plus thing. So what's the syntax for current field? At current field. At, no, it's not at current field because it's another field. It's the $sign, right? Hours. Now I need to go double check and make sure when I'm typing hours here that I actually called the field hours when I first created it, right? Because it's got to be that exact name of that system name of your column in here. So I'm doing hours, and I'm not doing an operator plus equals. See, this is nice and simple right here. Operands equals current field is equal to complete. So I'm just going to use that. So I only have one condition, right? But it's definitely easier if you use Notepad++. Equals, so greater than or equal to current field and then 8. And go. Oh, it's because I don't have anything after it. I don't have like the end part. Okay, let me do the end. Because I have to do the else, right? Else, so green, otherwise nothing. Just empty quotes. And then close out everything I'm doing. And if I was using Notepad++ for this, then I would be able to like better see the syntax of what is going on in here of, kind of what I might be missing in my syntax. Okay, let's go grab that. I'm not doing very good, am I? I just want to show the current field a certain color based on hours. I'm going to go back and look at what I did with the other one. Because this one over here, this project name was pretty simple. That's a good sort of basis.
Are you seeing what they're posting about the background color thing?
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was at the very bottom of the article. It kind of talked about putting that in there, and they were posting about it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try that next. After if I can get as long as I get the text to work, just the text color, and then I'm going to, with the logic, so I can get the logic correct, and then I'll go ahead and switch it to background. Okay, so this is style color less than or equal to, and then what I'm comparing is the hours, and I'm comparing them to 8. Oops, 8. Okay, that worked. Does that look like it worked? Yeah. So see, it changed the text to purple if it's, so I did it backwards though. See, it's doing greater than, so I'll just change this to greater than equal to. There we go. That's faster. See? So now this is over 8 hours, so it's purple. So at least, okay, so now I know the logic is working. So the next thing is, instead of formatting it text, formatting it as background color. So we've got style, and then I'm going to do what Fausto said in here, because Fausto, are you a dev? Okay. Background hyphen color. I bet you all can't wait to get your hands on this and start putting it in your projects. Like, put in the chat window some examples of projects and like lists where you need to be able to see conditional formatting. You all kind of be brainstorming and sharing ideas with each other while I type this in here. So background color width is greater than 20. Let's see, background hyphen color, and then purple. Ah, it did the background color. Okay. So instead of purple, I'm just going to do yellow, so it won't be so harsh. Thank you, Fausto. And then you could probably do additional things like padding and just like really customize. You could customize the way the whole thing looks. So now that I've got this in this one field and I'm saving it, what I'm going to do is I want the whole row to look like that. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my column settings of my next row. Most likely if you removed, I'm not sure, we'll have to check and see what happens when you remove a column from your view, because well, I guess the formatting of the column is just connected to the column. It's not connected to the view, right? So, so we'll go to work dates, column settings, format the column. So that's kind of nice, because with SharePoint Designer, with the data view web part, it was just that one thing. It was just that one view or whatever you did. So this can just be connected to the field. That's pretty huge too. Of course, now people are going to say like, well, wait a minute, what if I want it to show over this way over here and that way over there? And I get, ooh, then you kind of makes me wonder if you're going to have a setting that lets you decide like what page you're on and show it a different way. That's going to be more advanced. Okay, so column settings, that one doesn't, that project one doesn't have like that column formatting thing on it. Let me just move on and to this one. So all the code is exactly the same, but I'm just going in and tweaking each one of these, and they're all pointing to that hours field. So it's not really doing the whole row, so I'm not sure if that's one of the limitations, since technically you're formatting just the column and that's where the column ends, you know? So that'll be something to delve into. But so now you can see that because the project went over. See, any of the ones that are greater than or equal to 8. So I can change it to be, let's see, greater than 8 instead. Then I'd have to go do that in every column, right? Save. Oh, I only did that. I only changed that in one of them, like this one, see? So yeah, you definitely have to kind of go back through them all if you had a whole bunch of columns like this that you were doing like similar like this, then you'd have to go through a bunch of them to be able to change something. Now, you're also going to have stuff like just kind of the way the columns look just out of the box that I know people want to tweak a lot of the times, right? So it'll be interesting to see what people start doing with just, making the text bigger in a certain column or making a certain column bold. We definitely, do you guys remember with Data View Web Parts where you would just go build a particular, if you wanted a field to link to something else, if you didn't want the end user to have to go click to select the row and go click a custom action to go run a custom action or take them somewhere. Well, now one of the things we can do on here is instead of having to go build a hyperlink field and go like set the hyperlink via workflow or something crazy like that, we can just build what the hyperlink is directly in here. So let's go see if I can, let me think if I have one of those. Okay, so I've got 10 minutes. I'm going to make something up. All right, so when I am on my list of customers and I want to go to my list of projects, now keep in mind that I already built this whole customers projects thing as a Power App as well, which has got all the filtering and all the fun stuff built into it. But if I if I'm on a customer and I want to quickly go see that customer's projects, I want to just go to a filtered list maybe of the projects for that customer. So here, now this might actually be trickier because it's a lookup field. So that probably might make it not something I can figure out in 10 minutes. But this is an interesting trick. So I can go filter, like I'll just say filter this customer lookup by Contoso and go look. I didn't build any kind of custom, parameter being passed or custom, query filter web part or anything like this. I'm just going to go grab this code and I'm going to go put it in another. And we built something similar to this just recently with a customer, right, Joelle?
Mm-hmm.
See, take a look at this. This is out of the box, just clicking on the name of a field and filtering it. So filter value 1 is just the name of the field I filtered. And then filter field 1, and then filter value 1 is, and that's the actual name of the field. So Contoso right here, filter type 1 equals lookup. So if I can build a hyperlink on my customer that just says filter value 1 equals, and then customer name right here, and they could click on it and just go to the list of projects. So let's do that. All right, so I'm going to build I'm going to go to my customers list, and I'm just going to create a new column in here and really quickly. And I'm not going to put a value in the column. I'm just going to call it projects. Okay, so it's just going to be called projects, and this thing scrolling to the right is driving me nuts. I'm going to remove some of these fields. There, I'm just going to narrow that down. Okay, so now projects needs to be a hyperlink to that actual project. So this new syntax is actually going to give us the ability to create a clickable action in our field. So I'm going to go, I did this current field thing, column settings. And this is in the add an action button section in that reference. So this is, I just copied and pasted it. So with the type A, that A means it's a hyperlink. I'm not a dev, but I know that much. And then target's blank, so it's going to open it in a new window. You don't have to open it in a new window. You can get rid of this. And then this is the URL. And see, it's taking this, concatenating it onto the current field. So what we need to do is go grab that hyperlink and this whole thing. Filter field 1 equals customer lookup. That's not changing. And filter value 1 is customer, and filter field value 1 equals. So we need that whole thing, right? Because this word Contoso right here is the only thing that's different. Okay, so I'm going to replace that in here. Now I didn't put the part at the end where it said like filter type 1 equals lookup, so we'll see if that affects anything. Now it's not, you don't see anything on here, so let's just, I'm going to save this and see if it actually made it clickable. Oh, it did. Okay, so project's empty. So customer lookup value 1 equals, so it didn't put the name of a customer on there. So let's try that. At least it was clickable, it just didn't look like anything, right? So you'd have to like make it so that it has an icon, or so you'd have to put additional code in there to make it show like a colored box or show some text using sort of CSS styling type stuff, or just have this one field just or just use the customer name field and you're clicking on that, or have some text here like click to open projects and just have that be the default value. You could do any of those things. So let's just go see real quick. Go back into the code. Does this make sense, guys? I'm looking at the questions here. Dun, dun, dun. There's the release date is sometime this month. Yeah. Y'all will be one step ahead of the curve when it comes out. So, wow, there are a lot of comments I got to catch up on. Can you have multiple formatting per column? Yes, Stacy, you can have a bunch of or condition, like if else conditions, but it's just freeform JSON. So just like in that one that we looked at that had where I did the projects like active versus completed and quote sent, and those all had multiple things going on with them. Yep. Okay. So yeah, so let's see who was saying that. Eric was saying different column formatting for different views. That would be, yeah, that would be maybe something that might be needed in the future. All right, so I don't need to do target as blank. I'm just going to leave it like that. But we're concatenating this with the current field. Oh, okay, so that's what I did wrong, right? It's not supposed to be current field. It's supposed to be this other field, the customer name. Okay, so the customer name I think is my title field, so I'm just going to guess at that. So it's $title, and preview that. I'm just going to go ahead and see if that works. What customers do I have? Oh, it worked. Did y'all see that? I mean, that was pretty huge. You want me to do it again? So I'll go ahead and close this. So this is, it doesn't look like anything because I didn't put any actual value or anything visual in this column yet. But when I click on this second column here that I just created and put this formatting on, so this is the Contoso row, right? It pulls up my projects list just filtered by Contoso. Do y'all like that? That's pretty cool. So the next thing, we've only got 5 minutes left, but we could try to make it look like an actual box, like a button to click on. So let's see. Dun-dun-dun. How would I do that? Just put like a rectangle in it or something? I'm trying to think. I mean, it could just be, you know, just formatting the background of that box to make it kind of look like a button, but I don't know. What's CSS for pretty little rectangle? Oh, we could do images. We could do an image. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know enough about the syntax to know what that would need to look like to make it show an image there. So let me go show you what I did one more time. See, this is the field. Column settings, format this column. Okay, so I copied the code on here having to do with custom buttons, custom action buttons. And I just copied that code and tweaked it to, instead of looking at the current field to concatenate that onto this URL, I just put the title field of whatever this item is, this particular item is. Cool. And then as far as what those are going to look like, you wouldn't necessarily need to have a condition. That could just be like it's always blue or something, right? So let's see. Div. I don't know. See, the thing is, I don't know enough about code to know like where exactly to put the other thing in the code. So I'd probably just have to play around with that. So we've only got 3 minutes left, but that's pretty cool that I got that working. I'm pretty excited. So I'll go ahead and flip back over. What do you think, Joelle? Promising?
Yeah, I definitely think it is. It's just neat that it's built right into the column settings instead of, you know, another tool you have to use to manage it and stuff like that. Like that's a big, I mean, even though we could do some of this stuff in the past, it's a big win for that, I think.
Yeah, I think it's huge. So we got like the applause icons in in Power Hour. Cool. You guys check out the blog post I wrote the other day on some flow stuff, how to make you're assigning a task to someone that's external and you don't necessarily want them to have to go to SharePoint. You create a SharePoint list item, add an attachment to it. In this case, it's like a change request, which is just like a small screenshot for this particular customer that we had. And actually sends the list item attachment as an email attachment to the person and assigns them a task. And all they have to do when they get that email is hit reply and then type some kind of response. And then their response goes into their task and the task gets automatically completed. So that one, wonderlaura.com, that one was pretty fun one to figure out. Go check that out. Also, you guys check out iwmentor.com. Joelle and I have been spending months putting this together. And you can log in for free with your LinkedIn credentials. I encourage you all to go ahead and create an account in there. I think I'm probably going to start doing power hours in there. Still free, but just to kind of drive traffic to it. So check that out. We got some free basic training, like beginner stuff in there, and subscription-based training, and just all kinds of stuff that we've built. And next week, I was trying to get my dad in here to like demo, teaching my dad Power Apps. Which my dad was doing punch cards back in the 70s programming, so he kind of, these are concepts he's going to understand. It'll be fun. All right, well, I guess that wraps it up, and you guys, I guess I will see you next week, and we'll just look out for, if you go to wonderlaura.com and look on the resources and Power Hour schedule. That's where I say when I decide what I'm doing next. That's where I put that, and I also put it on the IW Mentor Facebook page in case you're ever kind of wondering what's coming up. And I will see you all next time. I'll go ahead and sign out.